So it's been a while. I had to check I had everything done properly and I forgot to push the audio recorder. So now we're recording audio, we'll start again. Now this camera and lens combo belongs to a very good friend of mine. He's had this camera system since the 70s. His parents bought it for him and they bought it from a photojournalist from a New Zealand newspaper called the Herald. And he's owned this ever since and it's in really good condition considering its age. Now I'm going to be reviewing the lens. I have no intention of reviewing the camera, which is the Canon 7S. If you guys want me to review the camera, let me know down in the comments section. And if you want me to put the 7S up against my M6 TTL, which could be quite interesting, let me know down in the comments section. Now before I talk about the lens, not the camera, just the lens, I want to mention something before I go any further with the video. I picked up this the other day, which is an almost new, and I say almost new, it's basically shot a few rolls of film, a Hasselblad X-Pan 1 with the 45 and the 90mm lens. Now everything is still in the box that it came with new. So what I want to do is do an unboxing of this camera and talk about why I bought another X-Pan when I sold my other X-Pan and I bought another one. I'll talk about that in the video. So there'll be an unboxing video and showing you guys what comes in the box with the lenses, the camera and everything else. And I'll talk about why I bought an X-Pan again. So this is the Canon 50mm f1.2 M39 or LTM mount, basically screw mount. And it is literally what it says it is. It's a screw mount. It screws into the body. You see there. Now again, this is the Canon 7S. If you want me to do a review on this, let me know down in the comment section. 50mm f1.2 was unveiled in 1956. And like I said, my friend got this secondhand in the early 70s. So this is quite an old lens and it's really well made. It's got a nice bit of weight to it. Now, because it's the M39 or LTM mount, you're going to need something like this, which is an adapter. Now this is very cheap, this adapter. This cost me $15 on Amazon. And all you do is you screw it on like that. And it now turns this lens into an M mount lens. So it will work with the M6, MP, M10, M246, M240, and so on. Any Leica M mount camera, this lens will now work with that. I'll attach it to my M6 and it attaches like any M mount lens. So as you can see, it looks really nice on the M6 TTL and it balances really well. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It doesn't stick out too much. It's quite a squat lens, but it feels very, very comfortable on the M6. Now, obviously, it's got an aperture ring at the front and it goes from f1.2 all the way up to f22. And the clicks are still really good. They're a little bit tight. It is starting to tighten up a little bit, but it's still very usable. And the focus is nice and smooth. Now, you'll notice there's this switch here, which is actually a focus lock. Personally, I don't like this. I'll talk a little bit later about that. But the focus is very, very smooth and it has a very long focus throw. It's a 180-degree focus throw. Now, I'm going to be testing this for video in the next video on this lens. Now, let me know if you want me to test this on the A7S Mark III, the FX3, which is the same camera basically, or the camera I'm using at the moment, which is the red Komodo. And I hope this camera is focusing on me because this is the first time testing the autofocus on the red Komodo. So hopefully it's focused on my face or it's not focused on the wall back there. The front filter thread on this lens is 55mm and it goes from infinity to a close focusing distance of 3.5 feet. Yes, that's correct, 3.5 feet. Which roughly works out to about 106 centimeters. Zeiss, Leica, Voigtlander, most of those lenses have a close focusing distance of 70 centimeters. And it does take a little bit of getting used to 106 centimeters. You do have to stand a little bit further away. So now you're going to see some photos taken with the Canon 50mm f1.2 lens on the Leica M6 TTL and also on the Leica M10-P. Now all the color photos are from the M10-P and all the black and white photos are from the M6 TTL. And they were shot with Kodak Tri-X at box speed 400. as you can see from the photos, this lens has quite a unique look to it. Some may say character. I really like the images this lens produces on film and on digital. I actually own the Nikon 50mm f1.2 lens. Now I love this lens, but I don't use it very often because it has no character. It's a really nice, sharp, clean lens, but there's no character to the images. This 50mm f1.2 from Canon has a unique look to it. I really like the out of focus area. It gets quite swirly. As you would have seen in some of the photos, this lens does vignette quite bad, especially from f1.2 up to about 2.8. You have to be aware of that, and it can be quite overpowering in some of the photos. Not a deal breaker for me. I know it's there, and I know what I'm going to get with the photos now. That's why it's always good to test these lenses. Now, some of the photos look soft at f1.2. That could be the lens, or it could be me. It could be user error. It's incredibly hard to focus a lens at f1.2 with a rangefinder patch. So I will be planning on testing the lens a bit more at f1.2 in the follow-up video on the M6, on the M10-P with the EVF this time. Now I mentioned the infinity lock earlier. Now what this does is when you turn the lens, it locks into place and it locks the lens. So if you focus a little bit too far, it actually will lock and you can't focus back. You have to push this lever in and then turn it. I really don't like this infinity lock. This was really annoying. Every time I'd focus it, because it's got such a long focus throw, it would lock into place and I'd have to push it to release it. I guess over time I could get used to it, but that's probably the only thing I don't like about the lens is the infinity lock. I can understand why it's there, but it can get a little bit annoying after a while. So don't forget, in a few days, will be an unboxing video of this Hasselblad X-Pan 1, which has the 45mm, the 90mm, and it even has the original black leather Hasselblad bag as well. I'll talk about all of that in the video. Now, before I go, just want to show you guys something. Unscrew this lens. Okay, that's the 50mm from Canon. And this is the brand new 50mm from Sony. They're both f1.2. Yeah, okay, this lens is really sharp at f1.2 and it's really fast autofocus. And it's probably the best 50mm I've ever used. But look at the difference in size. Just wanted to show you that. Just something random. Let's put this lens back on. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this first look at the Canon 50mm f1.2 lens. Don't forget, there will be a follow-up review coming in a few weeks where I'll be testing it on a few different cameras and I'll also be testing it for video. I do think this lens could be really good for video because it's got such a long focus throw. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.